Okay, so we're gonna go back to a couple of other things. I've dug out my Project Blue book. Um, it's actually like 4 books, well, 3 books and one 3-ring binder. I got the 3-ring binder here. So we're gonna go back over some things here. We first talked about the warp drive. Um, Pull out the information on the warp drive. Okay, so the warp drive. Told you it was really large. It took up the main section of the ship. Uh, these drawings that were in my Project Blue Book binder uh, actually showed the diameter of your antimatter coils where you need to keep the antimatter moving so it doesn't hit anything and blow your ship up. So, here we go. Here's your reactor chamber. This is the main setting. Coolant, coolant plasma, antimatter, and your matter. These little rings, this is what you keep the antimatter moving in. So electromagnetic rings. The antimatter pods are lined with electromagnetic coils to keep the antimatter stationary when you're not using it. Here's a quick look at it. Your antimatter channel comes in from one side, matter comes in from the other. This is your main setup in the middle here. Coolant channel, antimatter hits in the middle. It's pretty simple, right? Your antimatter power lines goes throughout the ship. Impulse engine, basically this is your Enterprise D style look with different little pylons and nacelles on that one. Here's a more detailed look at the matter-antimatter engine. This piece here is actually supposed to be angled toward me. My job at this point with how things look and stuff like that when you're looking at it, not too great, so it just looks straight across. But this is your port nacelle tube. This is your starboard nacelle tube. Top view of it. This is where that look was coming from. Port, starboard, EPS storage. This is the conduits to replace power conduits and stuff. Miscellaneous storage. Main floor. Your pool table. This is where you do the diagnostics and adjustments and upgrades to the warp core programming and stuff. Warp core replacement parts. Computer parts storage. Turbo lift. Unimportant stuff there. Alright, so I believe I've got a full-size picture in here of an Enterprise. Okay, so the Enterprise D. Your warp core sits right in here. Maybe back here more. But it's in this main portion of the ship. The reason for that, there's your warp core dump, so right about here. The reason for that is because you need a lot of room to keep that antimatter moving, which will take up about a deck on its own just for the tube to spin that around. The larger the ship, the more room you have for it, the better off you are. Alright, now we're going to go to the hyperdrive. Set that aside. Alright, so this is based on a design from the YT-1300. Different setups where the cockpit is in the middle instead of off to the side. Let's find the relevant page here. Okay, so here's the inside look. A work in progress. I'm trying to clean it all up. Escape pods, I've got them in the engine room on this one. I've moved them over to this side actually, but this one is set up to have a little fighter jet and explorer craft in the side, your dormitory. This is your hyperdrive. Here's your main engines. Okay? The hyperdrive, this is the fuel source to the hyperdrive. This connects the hyperdrive to the main engines, so you can actually expel that out. Okay? This is your hyperdrive. I've got it at 5 feet tall. The base is 8 feet in diameter. The top is 6 feet in diameter. This will easily fit in your engine room. This is what it looks like when you've got it, the top lifted up so you can do maintenance on your hyperdrive. Total height when it's opened up is 9 feet. Okay? It's pretty big at that point. But this is what it looks like. This is the back of the ship. This is where the engines are. This one here goes down. This one goes to the engine. These come from the fuel source. It's really simple. It's really teeny tiny. But it gives you faster than light activity and speeds. And it runs off of a separate power source, so the ship is a little bit bigger. But let me show you the ship outside view here. This is the outside view. This is your ship. This one here has got a side view. That's your ship. I mean, it's a quarter of the, not even a quarter, it's about a 16th of the size of the Enterprise A, the original Star Trek series Enterprise. It's about a 16th of that. It would actually fit in the bridge. I mean, the entire bridge would fit one of these Star Wars style YT-1300s or the smaller ships like that, the small freighters. In one of the other videos I also talked about Slipstream and the Andromeda. I dug out the actual Andromeda picture here. This is the Andromeda Ascent. This is your top view. This is your bridge. Nice stuff, huh? Bridge here. This is the floor plan. This is how many decks are in it. There's 17 decks total here in the main body. There's an extra 15 decks in this wing section piece here. All in all, it looks like this with 31 total decks. Okay. This here is your engine room. This is your slipstream and main engine power core. Main engine room here. Huge. Slip fighter deck. This is where the slip fighters exit the ship from the sides here and wherever else. Okay? I don't have a slipstream drawn up for it, I don't think. No, I don't. Seriously, watch the TV series. It does show the slipstream in there. It's just a big freaking thing. I mean, it's huge. One of the other videos I talked about my warp drive hyperdrive connection. Well, here's a little look at it. Here's your warp drive. Here's your warp drive. Here's your hyperdrive. Connects into the hyperdrive. This goes out to the warp nacelles. Real simple. Warp drive goes from deck 30 to deck 42 and is 20 feet in diameter. That's this warp drive. That is a big warp drive. Hyperdrive is 4.5 feet tall, 6.5 feet in diameter. Alright? The warp drive is also located on deck 36, which puts you right in the center of the hyperdrive, of the warp drive. Hyperdrive's right in line with it. So, you know, I've got the little, what everything is made out of, but it's not necessary. It's unimportant. The next page I'm going to show you here is how the hyper warp field bubble would look, the warp field bubble and the hyperdrive bubble. Alright? It's a little more in-depth look of what's going on. So, this is the hyper warp drive. Real space is folded in space-time. This is real space. You're creating the bubble around you, like so, leaving an open corridor here, squeezing back here. Real space moves with you because it's connected to the center of your ship while you're being pushed and sucked in the main corridor. As you can see, it does 2,000 times the speed of light at full speed in travel at warp 1 through 10 and 0.5 past light speed. So that's the basic Millennium Falcon hyperdrive with your basic warp drive. 2,000 times faster than the speed of light. That's a 2-day trip from here to the next galaxy, which would probably be the Andromeda Galaxy. 2-day trip for something that's about 14 trillion light years away. Hey, that's a fun trip, right? Alright, warp-filled bubble. Opens up in the front, 1,000 millicochrons. That's how much speed you're putting through your engines and you're moving. So, here I've got it generating from the middle of the bridge, which isn't true. It's actually generated from the very center of the ship here, right about where the torpedo base sits in the neck. Warp drive does 9.9 past light speed, up to warp 9.9 times the speed of light. 9.9 was the maximum warp speed for the Enterprise D. I believe the Enterprise E and F were able to do warp 12 and warp 15, a little bit faster, but as you can see, it just brings the magnetic field to a neutral spot in the middle of your ship, and the warp bubble essentially just pulls things to you while you sit stationary. That's all it does. Pushes the galaxy away from you at the back and pulls it towards you in the front. That's all. This is your hyperdrive bubble. As you can see, it's closed in the back. Your real space fold in space and the time continuum. And your corridor just pulls you forward and pushes you. So it's simple. It's easy. That's how it works. That's all there is to it. I'm going to close this video out, and we're going to do another one on the Spider-Man web shooters. So I hope you all tune in.